We are here working on the decals for Brian's A380. So I have our vinyl loaded in our Silhouette, and we are going to cut the decal to cover the wings first. So we have our vinyl loaded, we have our information in the studio, and it just adjusts the blade cut settings, and then it's going to cut. So we'll pause and then come back when it's done cutting. So there's that set. We're gonna switch different colors of vinyl and start on the next one. This is the new A to go on the side of the fuselage. Should be a good color match. Those are super small. Can you see those? And then we will put our next color in. Okay. This is just a small backer piece to go behind those A's that we just cut out. And then after this, we're going to cut out the new A380 logo for the tail for the vertical stabilizer. And we will be done. So there's those small ones, and we'll switch to our very last color.
Okay.
This is our last decal set for today, and probably my favorite for the vertical stabilizer. I did the bottom one first. Unload and double check it, and then we should be done. There we go. New A380 logos.
YouTube, Brian Phillips here. Look at this beautiful thing, guys. Okay, so as you know, we've been working on this rudder, and it's turning out just gorgeously. It's not glued yet, and we still have to cut in some stuff. Touch up the paint. Got in here and touched up the edge, so that looks nice. And then we touched up down there too. Now that stuff's not going to be well seen, but here's the key, guys. We have a special guest today that's going to help us. And while I was at work, she went ahead and printed the white backdrop for this, and then the A, and then we printed some covers here, and we were just going to do a quick special on that so you guys can see how we did it. The video will have already played, so you know how we did it, but now we're going to give you, hi, it's the camera woman for once. So Megan, if you want to take it away.
Okay.
She's just going to show us how this is called weeding, right?
Yep.
Okay, so she's going to trim out and cut this is the white backing that's going to go behind the letter A that's on either side. So while she's doing that, I'm going to show you. It's going to go right here. And so once that's done, so when you get a Cameo Silhouette, which is, it's a plotter, make no mistake about it, guys. It's just basically, it goes around and just traces and cuts, but we couldn't see very good in the video. So we felt a little bit bad. So that's what she's doing. She's weeding. She'll do that again with the A's here, and it'll show up more.
Yep.
So there's the A's. This will be the backing part. And so now you see you have to trim it out because this vinyl will stretch. So it's just like electrical tape, and it's super high quality stuff. Is this Oracle?
Yep. And
okay.
This is 651, so it's permanent adhesive vinyl. You can
permanent.
Yeah, you can take it off, but you'll ruin the vinyl, so you can't reuse it. But it would be removable.
Okay, so basically what you're doing here is, can you, is there a way for you to do that so we can see, like, oh, dang it. See if you can give us a shot of the hook working so that they see how that works. Because your hands are blocking it.
Mat here. Not a high quality.
Oh, yeah, you don't like my bathroom rug?
I'm sorry.
Don't worry,
that's
guys.
Why I took it out of my bathroom.
It's a wonderful bathroom rug. Okay, so what we're going to do is, as soon as we get these peeled, then we'll go ahead and put those on. You guys can see how easy this is. Now, believe me, the Cameo is kind of expensive. It's like $250 for the kit. And you wouldn't have to get the whole kit, but the kit comes with all this junk. The stuff And you would think that we're trying to sell it to you, but we're really not. I just want you guys to have the same tools that you're in your tool belt. That's kind of cool. Looks like American Airlines.
It does.
That's kind of neat.
Do you want me to go ahead and do this gray one?
Okay, now, by the way, this stuff doesn't just print out magically. We have to go and get resources, and then we take them and we trace them. Okay, so now these are the big silver panels. Now, hold on. Let's just show them the color match.
Okay.
This is the Oracle stuff. Just so you know, this silver is going to match really nice. Look at that. And it takes off the texture of the bubbles. But we wanted it to almost look like a panel line, but we still rounded all the corners. And that's all done in the software. So.
And by we, he means me.
Megan.
Okay. These we could potentially, they're big enough, just peel them off. And
Oh,
not
okay,
weed
because
them.
they're strong enough.
So I'm going to weed the A380s
For the tail?
Yeah.
Ooh! But hold on.
What?
Don't we have to use the weird stuff for that?
No, we
the
still have to
transfer?
weed it, and then we'll use the transfer tape.
Okay, so that's going to be the weird stuff.
Yep. The rest of
So
them
this
we're gonna
one we
apply
didn't get a
like
good shot,
square.
so I'm just going to try to give you guys a really close shot of the way that the letters came out. It's hard to see in the video, guys, because it just does such a nice job.
The background is blue, so
And-
once it's weeded, it'll be a lot
Yeah,
easier to see.
and the other thing you got to keep in mind is, like, we rounded these corners. That's actually a rounded corner, guys. Super detailed. We really like it. The Cameo is good to go. Now, you can actually get a Cameo. What's the one called that cuts wood?
The Curio.
The Curio
yeah.
cuts wood. But then you lose a bunch of other features.
Yep.
Okay, so you see how nice that comes off, guys? That is so cool. And she's gonna keep it. We're gonna sell this.
Brian will save
We're
it for
gonna do our
scraps for
20
something else.
26,000 person giveaway here. Sign up now. Sorry, that was awkward. So basically what she's doing is she gets the hook up onto the edge. It's not really rocket science, is it? Is it rocket
No,
science?
it's not. This is our 5-year-old's favorite job, is weeding things. So.
Except when my wife prints
anyone
things,
can do
it's
it.
not giant airplane sized things. It's like millions of little twists and stuff.
Yes.
And so you end up with a lot more weeding stuff. So this works pretty easy then, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So, do we want to tell them about the transfer
Oh,
tape?
yeah. So the transfer tape is... Oh, hold on. Show them this. This is the weirdest thing, guys. And you know, if you've ever worked with a plotter, the plotter has guides that help you line it up. You don't have to use this if you're cutting vinyl, right?
Right.
Okay. So, but if you're using paper, like, see this? Watch. It sticks to it, right? But it's not sticky enough to keep it there. Now, if you put a plain piece of paper on here, it's hard to peel it off, and you end up with these little stragglers. And you can see the cut marks. This stuff is cleanable
Yep. And you can re-sticky it with
with the
like
adhesive.
spray adhesive.
With the
You can
adhesive.
put spray adhesive on it and re-sticky them.
So then, and it's just got enough sticky that when you put your paper down, it doesn't let go. And it works really nice. But then we have the transfer.
Yeah, I got
So
it.
we're going to talk about the transfer paper now.
Hold on.
She's got it in the other spot. So, oh, and then while she's doing that, this is the other color. And this is the rationale behind not using that, is because, look, it didn't match, guys. And you'd be able to see that. So someday, it may be the Air darker blue bus. But that's the rationale behind that.
Okay, so when you're doing a vinyl decal, you don't want to try and peel off all these individual letters and stick them perfectly back.
Oh, hold
the
on.
way
I've
that
got
you
a
have them.
perfect example for this,
Yeah.
camera woman.
Okay.
This is what you get
Yes.
when I do it,
Right.
right? And this is not what
Not
you
what I
want. You don't want it to look like this, right? You want it to actually be perfectly aligned, and then you can use your software. Now, hey, real quick detail, guys. This is the way paper cuts. You see, you'll get these nasty edges if you are trying to cut through thick stuff like this.
Yep. It's not as neat.
It's not as neat, but the vinyl is crisp and
Yep.
beautiful. Look how nice that goes, guys. Okay, so
what
anyway,
you would
sorry.
do, we're not going to actually do this until Brian.
Yeah,
takes
we're not
the
ready
process,
because we
but-
have to get our servo into the pockets here,
But this
guys.
is how it would work. You take this is called transfer tape, or you can use contact paper from like Walmart. You would take your backing off,
What? Contact paper from Walmart? No.
put this over the top of your letters. Then you then you have a three-piece
Sticker.
sticker. You want to burnish this really good with a
Burnish?
credit card.
There's a word?
There's a word for that.
Oh
You
my
just make
goodness.
words up,
This
but
is
there's
ridiculous.
words. Then
Burnish?
burnish.
Okay.
Then you take the blue backing. You're going to peel it off.
Yeah.
Then your lovely vinyl decal is going to be stuck to your transfer tape all
Okay.
as one nice neat.
But then how come this
piece.
is this gonna suck my paint off and then make it look like crap?
That's why we're not doing it on Brian's plane until we test it.
It's gonna look like crap, isn't it?
If it pulls off, it's going to be a problem. So
well,
that's why I'm not actually
but
doing
since
it
we're
yet.
not gonna have that problem, we're gonna do this one first, and it's gonna be easy. So we'll switch cameras here in a minute.
Okay.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. She's ready. Here goes nothing, people.
Okay. Back where I belong, on this side of the camera.
All right, so my wife has run behind the camera to hide as usual. So we're gonna just apply this here, and I've already dry fit every one of these pieces. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put it on there, and that's gonna block the A. And then we're gonna take our little A.
Is that going to block it enough? Do we need to do a second
You know what?
layer?
Here, give him a shot like, come, oh my goodness. It's a defective Cameo.
Oh, no.
I don't know. Just
thing.
kidding. We're just gonna do two.
Yep, I would. I'll just go
We're gonna
back.
see if we're just doubling it up, guys. We're just going to town on this thing. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, baby.
I'll just go print you two more.
Okay, and then we'll take off the A. A stands for what? Awesome. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Oh, guys, look at that. That is gorgeous. So much better. And I don't even think I got it exactly placed. And just hold on. Let's show them how stupid it looks over here now. Yes. It looks dumb. Like, why did they accidentally typo a space in there? Yes, they did.
Yeah.
All right, so now one more job. We're going to go ahead and get the silver done real quick. And then my wife has some more important work to do. Since she doesn't evidently think that my work is that important. Whatever. Okay, so these panels we're just gonna peel
Yeah, that's going to be the other
like a sticker.
other
You
side.
get away with that. That's the other side.
Yeah.
Oh crap. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll do the
fair.
A380. Now remember, guys, it's vinyl, so it will stretch.
Yep.
Okay. Don't let it turn around on you. Oh my goodness gracious! Great balls
Almost
of fire.
ruined my work.
All right, so I'm just gonna
Can't.
in the middle, let it down. In the middle, minimize the air bubbles. Oh yes.
If you get air bubbles, let it sit for like 24 hours. Some of them will work their way out, and then if there's still some left, you can go back in like with a straight pin and poke them and flatten them out.
Or you can just catch the whole plane on fire and then throw it.
That would be more entertaining.
It
That's
would be,
true.
Would be pretty exciting. But look how good that looks, guys.
It does
That
look super awesome.
It looks
That
just
turned
like a
out really
wing
good.
panel. That's
Yep.
exactly what I was hoping for.
Yep. That
Whoa!
looks great.
Whoa! Whoa! Holy static! Jeez.
I don't have any more silver. Don't ruin those.
Well. Okay, now the silver's covering up way better. Now, another trick, guys. Oh no! Okay, so I'm just trying to get the leading edge to block the A. Oh, am I gonna block? Yes. Oh no! Oh no! Am I missing?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Ah! I missed it. Dang it. Okay. Crisis could be averted. Hold on, guys. Get yourself a sharp knife. Oh boy. This is probably not going to work. You think it's going to work?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I don't know if we have enough vinyl to redo one.
Okay, so we got to make this work.
Yep. Oh, you lucked out.
Oh, buddy.
Okay.
I am so lucky. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, jeez. So we made this a little tight on size, guys. Oh, buddy. Negatory. Oh my goodness, that was scary. That was so scary. Not quite as scary as when I'm using hot knives to cut things apart and then grab the hot end. That's more scary, slightly more painful. From the middle, from the middle. Now remember, this is vinyl, so it does stretch a little, but it don't stretch a lot. Ooh, you know what I thought of that we should have totally done that I didn't do at all, and
What?
probably should have? I should have wiped it down with alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay,
think
give him a
it's
shot of
better.
the wings. Oh my goodness, that is so much better. It looks so much less like a cartoon. Do you guys see it? Okay, hold on. Let me try this. Oh yeah, look at that. That does look really nice.
Yeah, it does.
I'm so glad that your crafty things that you bought solely for the business purpose of Brian Phillips' YouTube channel
Yep, exactly.
worked really nice.
Here to please.
That's right. In case the IRS is asking. Okay, so that looks good. Now we just have to do 2 more white covers, and then we'll get the A on there. Guys, that's all for this part of the video. Thanks for watching. Come back for more. In fact, there's going to be more right away. All right, guys, so we're going to continue this process and show you how we kind of come up with our initial game plan. So this is the servo pocket, okay? Now that it's painted and it's installed here, and we've got the arm where it's going to be, and we've got some opening for the throw, but we need to cover this so that we can have it kind of blocked more and more pretty. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a vinyl decal here. So what we'll do is we'll just kind of cut out a rough cut of the approximate size we want, and this is just going to show you how we end up using the Cameo to do this, because it's not like anybody explains this to you. You got to figure it out on your own. So it'll go like that, and we'll just trim down the piece until we have it approximately where we want. Now the other thing is, if you can lay this in the photocopier, you can literally just photocopy it. Because part of the process of running the Cameo is you have to kind of trace an outline so that the machine knows where to cut. Okay, so we'll just cut that out, and then maybe just fold this in half, something like that, and then we kind of know approximately where we want this to be, but we'll just push down a little bit so we have an indentation or a rip, and then we'll just take and cut this. Couple cuts like that. Then I've just got this little hole punch here, so we'll just come in here and just a regular office hole punch, nothing special. And that's going to give us our approximate pocket location. Okay, so imagine that being a blue piece. Okay, and then what we've done is we actually built one before we did this video, and this is what we came up with. Okay, so that's a nice fit. I just use the blue tape to get it really exactly where I want, so I fine-tune it. So we're going to take this upstairs, and we're going to show you. I'll have my wife run the computer since she knows how to run the Cameo software a little better, and we'll show you how to transfer this into a decal. Now let's show them the quick example. This is what it looks like when you're done. We did a white back piece, and we've got the navy blue A. And so this is actually too thick because the A was showing through. And then show them the wing. And you can kind of see how that works. So when we come back down, we'll be able to basically take this and we'll be able to mask and hide most of the servo. Excuse me. And then for this, we don't even really need the Cameo. We'll just use electrical tape. And just regular conventional white electrical tape will work fine for that. Okay guys, we're back. What we're going to do is we're going to actually scan this, and the backing has to be, we're going to just put it in a regular all-in-one, which this just happens to be a Brother all-in-one. And so the blue is going to give us something as a backdrop, because remember, we're going to have to do some tracing for the Cameo. And so we're just running the scanner. Okay, so now she'll go ahead and run this so I can film and narrate what she's doing. So wait for this thing to scan, and as soon as it pulls up, we can go ahead and copy it into your favorite editing software. What do you like to use?
Well, we're just going to put this right in Silhouette Studio.
Okay. I like to use Paint.
Yes, you would.
Because it's easier.
So I'm just going to drag it to...
Yep.
Can we just open it real quick? That should be fine to trace.
And so obviously we're just going to ignore the rest of the stuff there.
Yep. So I'm just going to open Silhouette Studio, which is free software to use. This is what we were doing earlier, so I'm just going to move it off to the side. And this is
free, but it comes with the Silhouette, right? Do you have to buy the Silhouette?
You can download Silhouette Studio and like mess around with it, but then you have to have a way to...
Well, I just know all these people do these 3D printers, and they do lots of different cool things, and nobody ever shows how to do it. So basically what you're doing now is you're importing the image, right?
Yep.
Okay. And we're still fairly new with the software. Zoom out. I bet it's out there.
Should know right where I put it. Of course.
And these are the types of things that you run into when you have a new software. So you'll have to go file and open, I bet.
Yeah, let's try it.
So what we're doing is now we have to basically go and find the file that we want to import.
There it goes.
And then it allows you, and see all these little hash marks here? This is going to tell you, like, where's your plastic
It
thing?
shows you can customize your mat size.
Okay, so your mat size is going to
That's
be,
12 by 12.
the little marks are going to line up and correspond exactly to
Yeah.
what's on the screen. And so it makes a big difference. So like if you're in Paint, of course you're going to have to fight with it, but you can also grab and rotate stuff in
One
here.
thing that might be helpful, if you're going to print a long, like if you had a really long wing and you needed to print a decal, you can put the vinyl into your Cameo without the mat, as long as it's
And there's a
sticky back
raised
vinyl.
There's a raised edge on
So
there.
you could put a 3-foot long sheet of vinyl in here and cut a long wing decal,
Right.
even if your mat is only 12 by 12. That's
Right.
totally a rabbit trail. But so we're gonna trace now this piece that Brian cut downstairs, and we're gonna have to spend a minute and mess with our thresholds.
So the thresholds are the difference between the backdrop and what we're actually trying to trace.
We want to try and get the inside piece. There we
Now
go.
sometimes it helps if you're going to paint or whatever like that. You can kind of see how the yellow is starting to show up as an outline, and that's what we're going for. And we'll just go in and delete the points that aren't helpful to us. So like for instance, this tape was probably not the best idea, but that tape is showing up as another outline. So once we get that set, then we can go ahead and fine tune it from there. But you're not getting your inside line.
I know.
You know why?
Why?
We have a blue backdrop and we use blue tape.
Do you want to rescan with a different color backdrop?
Maybe. But yeah, we'll try rescan and we'll pull up another image real quick, guys.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to just trace this. And that's going to help us to get a really nice outcome. It's a lot easier than trying to fiddle with another background color. And this makes the software not have to differentiate. Okay, so I'm just basically going around the outside edge because this is going to be a white paper now. Okay, so now we can grab this and you can see how we've got a distinct black line now. And so that'll show up and we can scan it on a white backdrop. So we'll do that now and then we'll come right back. All right, guys, so with the scanner's running, so Megan's going to actually be loading this now. And what that's going to do for us is that when this is done, then we can actually load this in with the arrow. And what you want to do is you want to just keep track of where your marks are. So like if you're using a piece that's already got a bunch of cuts on it, then you can transpose it right into that spot. So we're going to open our new image now, and then we'll bring it into the Silhouette software. All right, guys, so we're back again. We've imported our image, and now we just have the outlines. So this is going to be a whole lot easier for us to select and trace. Now you can actually draw your image as well. Now we have to play with the saturation and the threshold and all that stuff. Or what is it called? Threshold, and then...
Then there's a high pass and a low pass
Yep.
filter.
And those filters over here make a difference in how much becomes considered backdrop and how much becomes considered outline.
It's probably about as good as it's going to get.
Okay,
right
try
there.
that.
Okay. So then we'll take our original image away
See, and then you get your
and
outlines.
see what we're left with here.
And sometimes it's a little annoying because it's going to try to trace on either side of the black line. And so what's going to happen is it's going to just give you a very exact replica of your markings.
Are we going to keep this inside?
Yep, we're keeping the inside
Okay.
mark. So now we need to go through and refine this, and you can zoom in and refine it, but she's just erasing the cut marks. And if you wanted to, you could actually take this and then you can draw your own shapes. So this just shows you some of the very, very tedious steps that my wife helps me with when we're working on airplane stuff. Because however tedious I am, helping me is even more tedious, right?
Yes.
We're correct. Okay. Okay, so we'll come back to you real quick when we've kind of got the finished product, and we'll show you how you re-round a corner. Okay, guys, so what we're doing now is we're just keeping our outside line, because the outside line, of course, is going to be the outside of our trace. And once you've got all that traced, then you're ready to print. And this doesn't really seem like that big of a deal, and it's probably a little bit of a tedious video, but this is kind of more about the Cameo than the airplane right this second. So I want you guys to see if this would maybe work for you. And if you're doing this and you're making a model, just imagine you're making the pieces that are going to be cut out of balsa wood, because you can actually cut balsa wood on the
Curio.
The Curio,
Yep.
which is really similar to this. It's just got different blades. And you can also put markers in these things, and you just twist them in, and then you define how far you want them to press and all sorts of cool things.
The Cameo actually is a dual carriage, so you can put 2 things
Yep.
in it at once, or the 3. If you have a 1 or a 2, then you can only have 1 blade or sketch pen or whatever in at a time.
But the cool thing is you can actually do drawing and you can do cutting. So if you need to make some sort of a reference mark, or if you're doing a canopy, you know, over the top of a canopy round or something like that. So, and my wife has not used the software too much yet, and so we're both kind of getting used to it.
You can also print on your printer and then put it in your Cameo and have it cut out around something that you've printed. So if you need like a more color specific or a multicolored decal, you could do it that way.
Which is really similar to what we're doing, except it would just take care of all these steps. Now, keeping in mind that if you don't have a very distinct outline, then what's going to happen is it's going to try to cut, and then you'll have incomplete cuts. So you're going to have to go through with an X-Acto knife or something and get your cuts made. So it's tedious, but you know what? If you do it right, see, this one's kind of annoying because you're only going to use this particular weird piece once. But if we were to make, you know, alpha characters that are common on a lot of airplanes or something like that, then we could reuse them.
We want to show them. Let's see if we can fix.
Yeah, let's try fixing. So we've got a line that's got an indisparity right here. So what you get is these little points, and these points, of course, are going to be points for turning. And why don't we highlight this little bundle? This bundle's a mess.
Here,
so,
zoom in a little more so we can see.
and all you got to do is just delete them. Now, I say all you got to do. Of course, this is like the 47th step. Hold on one sec. Okay, so we've got all these points, and we're just going to select them, and then eliminate them, and you see it straightens out the line. So it's just averaging between these different points. And so my sloppy cuts here become very nice clean cuts.
Should we delete? So
Yeah, delete both of those.
2 points.
And it's pretty amazing how tight of a corner this thing can cut. And then what we'll do is, like down here, we've already kind of got a curve, but we're going to keep our furthest most outside point. We could actually drag it, right?
Yeah.
And just drag it to the outside extremity. You go a little bit further, and then you can just delete these other points, and that makes you a nice square inside corner. And we'll pause it, and we'll come back when we've got this corner done. All right, guys, so we've got this nice, really square box. Now, this square box is not perfectly symmetrical because, as you know, I was basically making it from scratch, okay? And, of course, it's in the scanner. So basically, when you make something from scratch, you're never going to get it exactly perfect. And so, but you're not going to notice that, okay? But we can make it perfect if we want here. So the way you would do it is you would just use your hash marks here, and I would pull this down. Stop. That's probably about perfect. Okay. Now let's round a corner so they can see how we do this.
Okay.
So basically, you have to add 2 points to average. So you'll add 2 points, and then you do a curve.
Then you delete.
You delete the point, and it does the curve.
And that creates a curve for you. If it doesn't do it automatically, there's a little corner.
Yeah, you can select how you want it to translate that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we'll get the corners done on this, and then we will go ahead and print it, and we'll show you how we sample it with a white piece of paper. We'll run it down and check it against the rudder, and then we'll come back up and we'll go ahead and print it on the vinyl, which is going to be blue, navy. Okay, guys, so we forgot one step. We've got this weird indisparity where evidently we didn't have the saturation good enough. And so what we have to do is we have to go in here and just add some points in the middle. And you have a choice up there where it says make curve, simplify, make flat. And what you have to do is you convert it to a path too. So you have to find 2 points and then convert to path, right?
Right.
Is that how you do it?
Yep, I have to be able to get to my points.
And you can right click. Okay, so you see how those little points pop up. Now you could also just drag those two together, right?
Yeah, if we can.
Oh, no.
Nope, not.
And just get used to undo. Get used to undo. If you don't do it right, just undo it right away.
Well.
Complete it to that, and complete it to that, and then we'll go ahead and complete from there to there. Because this is going to be a cut that matters for shape.
Yeah, it is.
Well, actually, no. This is just a nicety. We could start here and just curve all the way down to there. Except I want it to miss this, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's bring it down to here.
Now remember, it's going to cut this whole circle. So you can just eliminate that after you curve it. Now, do you want to curve that? I think you can hit curve, or do you have to add another point? You got to add another point because it's only 2 points. There you go. Yeah.
Well, I know, but we can still.
Okay, so now we'll just delete these and it'll center it up. So it's kind of a tedious thing if you haven't noticed, guys. Yes. It's a lot like the rest of my videos.
Except I get to do it.
Yes, that's right. That's why it's good.
Oh, I was going to say.
All right, we'll come back in a minute, guys. Okay, so now we got to erase this part. So you can select that object and you can delete the whole thing just by hitting the delete key.
It's its own thing.
So as you can see, we're getting nice straight lines. And then what we got to do is just delete these little things down here. And so if you highlight one point, you'll notice that the red moves. Well, you can just sit there and press delete and it'll walk all the way down the line. But eventually you'll delete one and it'll go like straight line across. Then you got to go undo. So can you select this one here and show them what happens? See how there's an arrow when there's using the select tool? So that's pretty good. I think we should zoom out and see what it looks like. So guys, this is what we've done for all those pieces, which is a lot of ridiculous amount of work just for one little cut, right?
Yes.
It's a lot of work. So, and we've paused it. Yeah. So you never know what happened during the pause. Okay. All right, guys, my wife just noticed something. That's why you have your wife do things like this. Okay, so remember when we were making this, hon?
Yeah.
I had this down like this. Well, we photocopied it so that we could see the black mark and not have the blue interact. So we need to mirror this. So when we lay this down, wait, this is the right way. That's supposed to be like that. Because it's going with the Airbus logo.
Right, so we have to flip this one.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Very good.
Yep.
So now we could cut this on paper and it's not going to matter, but since it's vinyl backing with adhesive, we do need to mirror.
So all we need to do is go flip horizontally and we're back to the right way.
Nope, you need to flip this horizontally too.
No, it's the whole thing.
No, it didn't. It didn't flip that. Undo it. Watch. Oh.
Okay, hold on. Here's the trick. Because to edit the points, we had to ungroup. So we have one object and two objects. So what you need to do is highlight everything. And then you're going to come up here to group selected shapes. Now this is one whole piece. So now when I select it and go to flip horizontally, now it flips the whole thing.
Okay.
Good catch.
So now we have this backward, or the correct way. And so when it prints, we're going to put it on a piece of paper.
Yep.
And then the piece of paper comes downstairs, and then when we go downstairs, we'll see if it fits.
We need to size this, so we can do that.
We shouldn't need to size it. It's an exact size now.
No, because we blew it up so we could.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're basically going to come up with a size, and so we're just taking this mark here, and then we're going to count 1, 2. We're almost exactly 2 inches there.
2 inches fine.
So then you can see we're at 4 inches here. So wait, show them the other way. Go back to where you were. Now, when you have a more complex shape, it's a little harder. So what you can do is you can also do the math. You can lock your aspect ratio on your width and height, and then you can just do the mathematical function to figure out the difference. Now, we're not going to do that today because we're so close. We can just grab this, and it locks the aspect ratio if you grab your diagonals, but if you grab your sides, then it will not lock the aspect ratio.
So
correct?
You're just a little, correct. You're a little over 2 here. So
well,
we want to do our test, and I'm
you're 2.5. I would say 2.5 tall should be about right?
Which is what we are. We're 2.46 here, and then we're just over 2 here.
Let's try it. Let's load that paper and see if we can do this.
So we're going to drag this right up to the corner so that we are using just a little bit of paper here.
Yep.
Then we're going to come over here in the studio and go to send. And then we need to select.
Hey, wait. Why aren't we doing this on this? Why don't we do it on the blue cool paper so they can see how to avoid crap that's already printed? Okay, so we're going to peel this off. This is why you don't use paper, because sometimes it'll rip.
It's wrinkly.
And it curls.
Yeah.
So now we'll take this and we'll show you how to avoid what's already on there. You just get that lined up.
In case you were cutting out kitchen appliance pictures.
Yes,
earlier in the
exactly. And so, like, yeah, whatever. What the heck is this?
It was a mixer.
What have you been doing all day?
I taught.
Oh, look, and this is our first shot at the window. Oh, that
that's
looks so cool. Hold on, I gotta show them.
jeez.
Oh, yes. That's cool. All right.
Okay, so
now-
back to the real story here.
Now we just have to figure out where we go.
We're gonna be about 3 inches over.
But
Can't
then we don't
see
have
through
two
my
full.
net.
We don't have two
Whoops.
full inches. So you'll have to just
I know,
drag it.
I'll go down.
And you'll notice that this is the same size as the mat. You can import the images of the different sizes. So like this size exactly equates to this size. Okay. It's not just the hash marks. So, and they sell these in different sizes, do they?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Can you get extra long ones so that
They make a 24 inch. 24 inches the longest.
And you notice we don't have anything back here, and it doesn't shoot through the back. It cuts and then it feeds it out the front, which is
if
pretty
you're
cool.
doing a big long roll of vinyl with it.
It'll shoot it all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they make rollers so that you can.
Can I load this?
Well, here.
Or do you want to load? Here, you load
really
it.
do it.
You're better at it. I'm trying to hold the.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay, so all you do is load the mat, and it will pull it in as far as it needs to go. Then we'll come over here to our send. We're going to select our material, which I already have a preset for, which is going to be cardstock.
And that changes the way that the blade depth works, right?
You can adjust your blade depth, your blade speed, the force, and then however many passes you want to do. So you can do multiple passes if you have something that's really thick.
Okay.
This should be fine, just kind of on the basic presets. Another thing that would be helpful if people are cutting things is if you have something like the A in the A380 that you want to be super, super crisp, you can check this little box over here, which is called line segment overcut. So instead of your blade continually staying in your pattern, it will go and pick up and overcut just a little bit, so you have super, super crisp edges if you're doing something really tiny.
Which would be good, but
don't
like
need
for
that right
us,
now,
we have
but-
points that are curved.
Yeah.
So
we
it's going to
don't
go
need do
between
that.
each and every point, and it's going to lift, which means it's going to take a lot longer
Yeah.
to run.
So we don't need to do that.
So if you have a complex cut, you may need the extra stuff, but it's going to take a lot of time.
When you first start doing this too, always do a test cut and make sure that your material
Mm-hmm.
is going to come out nicely.
All right, so here goes. We're going to give you an ultra close-up shot.
So
Oh, it got me! Oh, just kidding.
it's just
It did not get
adjusting
me.
the auto blade.
It's going to suck. It's going to be so hard to see. It's magic! Look at that, it's magic! That is so cool. That's what I wanted you to film earlier.
What? No.
Okay, so there's our piece. Oh, it's so cool. It's such a cute piece. All right, show them how to pull it out.
Okay, so unload your mat, and then you can pull your cardstock off, and it's just going to automatically leave it there because it's a small one. If it's stuck, you can use your little weeding tool again.
You know what else you can use? An
What?
O-ring pick. If you're a man,
or a
you have
a dental pick.
a dental pick. If you have a dental pick, then you may be.
And here is your sample piece.
So we're gonna go see if this thing works. Would you please focus, camera? That looks so cool. Let's juxtapose it to my crappy one.
Yes. Which would you rather show the people at home?
Well, I mean, we showed them both.
I know. Should have
Okay.
just said we did that all on our own.
Yeah, we should. That's a
Okay.
good idea. We'll do that next time. Let's go downstairs and try it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and test this now. So what we've got here is this is a good one and that's a crappy one. So we started with this. This is our rough cut. Go ahead and throw the good one on.
Okay, so here's our good trial run.
That looks
Pretty
nice.
good. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That curve is great. That was perfect.
And then what we want to also check for is once we push it down.
Yep.
Yes. That is so good.
And then are you good with clearance? Are you going to have enough for your throws?
Well,
Because we can make that
that's
bigger if we need to.
actually a good point because when this goes on, we're going to have this rod that's going to need to have a bend, a Z-bend. And so that Z-bend is going to stick out on both sides a little bit. So clearance is about perfect, but this is actually going to get bumped over.
Okay.
Okay, so
So do we need to make adjustments?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think we're good. I think we're good.
Okay.
All right, so let's
We
go
can go
upstairs. We'll go up and we'll come back down with a decal, and it's going to be awesome. And then we can try to put, before we cut this thing in, we're going to put the 380 on.
Oh,
Okay?
because that's done and ready to go.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so we're back upstairs. And so remember, we've got this one's already cut because we had our A's in this. And so like we were talking about before, now we just have to relocate on the Cameo software where it's going to print to. So how far is this? One box and an eighth?
Yeah, so we should be plenty good here. We'll go
No.
down.
Yeah, there. Okay, that should be fine. And then you can really be frugal with your stuff.
Yeah. Then when you change you need to make sure you change materials, because if you cut on cardstock, that's not going to give you what you want. So we want to make sure we change to glossy vinyl.
Glossy vinyl.
Gotta love it. And we can load this again.
And what she's doing is there's a load and unload button. Oh, but we gotta see the action.
Okay, hold on. I got to double check our cut settings. Yep, that should
You see that? There's a mechanical. But see, it says it's on 6. See, it just changed it to something below 0 or 10. See the little red thing moving?
should have changed it to 4. I guess we can see if it works.
No, it's at 4 now. Yep, but it goes all the way around. It goes the same direction every time. Oh, that's cool. You hear it? It's really working hard.
It's a little quieter with the lid closed, but not nearly as entertaining.
See the lid closed? Cool. All right.
You have to wait for it to be done, and then you can unload. And then we'll show them weeding this one more time while we're
Yeah,
here.
because it's super easy one.
Yep.
Oh, do you have to cut it out?
Yeah,
Okay.
because you want the actual decal. You don't want me to pull the sticker off.
She insists that it has to be cut out. I don't think it does.
I just like to weed.
Okay, so let's take this down and we'll actually apply something useful.
Yep.
Wait, just cut that all the way down. Well, no, you're right. You can keep that. Sorry. Classic flip-flop. Good job. All right. Next time you see it, it's going to be on the airplane, but we'll let you watch that happen too. Oh, wait, you're going to weed this?
I was going to weed it.
Cool.
Hook it. Peel back.
Dang it, you went too quick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, I want that blue stuff for something else. Shouldn't we take it down in case we need to like cover up something else? Or if like the
Well, we'll put it back on the vinyl.
Okay, yeah,
I'll
keep
hold
the
it.
backing.
I'll hold it very carefully.
My cheapskatingness
Yes.
is coming through. Loud and clear. Yes.
Grab this piece.
And it's actually, I
and
don't know. I didn't think it was
there's
that
your
hard to
finish.
do without the awesome tool. But
No.
All right.
The tool just makes it more fun.
next time you see it, it will be on the wing. And it's
Yes.
going to be awesome.
All right.
Okay, so she's going to film because she doesn't trust herself to put this
I'm
on.
not putting stickers on your
Which
plane.
is fine. Okay, so obviously, just like a regular decal, you're just gonna peel it off. And look how nice this, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful, people. You know what? We'll do the white next. So now you just need to make sure you give yourself room. Gotta give yourself room. Ooh, see, I should have had you do it because I already screwed it up. I almost screwed it up. So I'm sticking it to the plastic, not to the painted area, okay? Then I can manipulate it a little bit if I need to. Okay, so we're kind of blocking our line, I wonder if... And there you have it, guys. Oh, yes. Oh, gorgeous.
That's nice.
And if you were really, really exceptionally anal, you could make a piece to go underneath, too, which we're
So
not.
that's our next step?
No,
Oh.
it's not, sorry. I know you're excited about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is awesome.
Looks nice.
So now what we need to do is our next step is of course going to be to get the holes cut, get this thing mounted in there. But in the meantime, we got to get the numbers on there. Now, why do we have to get the numbers on there? We have to get the numbers on there because this crap's going to be in the way in a few minutes.
Oh, yeah, we do that.
So that's our next step. Okay, so what we're doing next is very critical and scary because I have to make commitments about things and I'm not very good at that. So what I'm doing is I've got this tool here, which is just an office tool for cutting straight cuts. Now, why do I need a wedge like this? Because before I had my paper and that's how I located these. Now, we don't want this square because that's going to look just as dumb as the factory did. We want it to be almost at a steep angle like this. Okay, so it mimics what it would be in reality, but we don't know the exact angle, so we have to actually stick this in here, okay? So because of that, we actually have to poke a hole so we can sit this all the way down in there. Dang it, I knew I would miss a step. So we're gonna go ahead and cut. We're gonna get one of these on here, and then we'll make a wedge that gives us our jig so that we can then transfer it exactly, because we're not gonna be able to get it exact if we don't have some jig to line up with. So why don't we pause it and we'll come back and you'll see that in a different video. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this now. We've got our little extension cord in here, and we have a hole drilled so that we can pass this through. And we have to get this lined up so that we can make our wedge. And our wedge is going to tell us, and it's going to dictate the exact position. We'll have them labeled left and right, okay? So left and right. And what that's going to do for us is it's going to give us the exact placement of the decal, even though we don't want to have to depend on getting the decal right first. We want to have a, you know, a definitive spot. So why don't you come around here, and so now that we have this laid out, we remember from earlier in the video series that I wanted this, we wanted this servo to be right there, okay? So now you'll see the 8 is going to be cut in half in this gap, okay? If we have that angle the way we want. I think it needs to go up just a hair or down a little bit, okay? What do you think? What, you don't think anything about that? You're good? Or is that lower than we want it? See, I think we're fairly close to where we
I think
need
that's
it.
pretty good right there.
So now this is the part where, guys, it's definitely, it's a lot of work we've put into making this beautiful. And so you don't want to like cheapskate out on this step. So take your time and get it exactly the way you want. Okay, now I got to step back.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So what we're looking for here is we're basically looking for the angle from this image, okay? We want that to be exactly right. And guys, look, can you see the servo? I can't. Can't see the servo on this one either. See, I have a laughing crowd. This is better this way. Now it doesn't have to be exactly perfectly level, because if you look at these two lines, it's close, but it's not exact. I think I could be satisfied with that. The other thing is, this isn't taped together as perfect as the decal will be. All right, so go ahead and film.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to reposition this just very slightly. Boy, that vinyl makes it stick way easier. The tape, the painter's tape on. Oh. Okay, so I like that angle, and I'm just going to move this up just ever so slightly. I mean, like a couple millimeters, if that. It doesn't look like I'm moving it much because I'm not, guys. Okay, so that's where we want that to be. Now I just have to push this tight, make sure that's seated all the way down. And I'm happy with the angle, so now we have to cut the angle, okay? So this is the wedge I'm talking about. So we have to get a good reference point. And I'm just gonna basically fold this first. And then once we're done folding it, we can that might actually work better than having it cut. Okay, so I need more of an angle, more aggressive. And we have to do this, unfortunately, on both sides. So what we'll do is we'll pause it at this point while we fight this paper, and then we'll come back and show you the finished product for this wedge.
Yep.
All right, guys, so you can see how we're lined up there. So now my plan is to go ahead and peel this out, which means the cable is going to be tricky and challenging.
Do you want help?
Now the other thing we could have done is we could have just put this piece of paper on there where we had the mark. I think that might be what we do on the other side. Okay, so now that we have that wedge cut, we can tape this down. We have to stay off the blue or it'll pull the blue off. That's why this is so challenging for us. Okay, so now we have that taped down and it's going to be nice and secure. And then we can peel off our temporary markings.
Give about a minute.
And then we can pull this off. And then we should be able to go ahead and apply one of our decals. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut this in half. And this is what came out of the Cameo. Okay, so we'll just leave that off the side. And then what we have to do is you have to try to line that up here. Now that's tricky because this is paint. And so we can't necessarily use the backing that we'd normally, right?
Probably not.
So there's a couple of different options. We can maybe use this painter's tape, okay? But I have an idea for that. We have to basically do this to hold them together, and then we're gonna have to go in between and actually put tape backward, okay? So it's gonna be a challenge, but we'll be able to do it. And obviously you wanna take the path of closest touching area, like this, and then that's going to keep them. You want to do probably 2 pieces on each of these where you can, so that it can't slip. Because if it slips, you've lost your positioning and you might as well print the whole thing again.
Yeah.
It's going to be harder if you let it slip, okay? But you don't want any more overlap than you have to have. Like this, you want to eliminate that by folding that tape over itself, or you will pull all that paint off. Okay, so that's just backing there now. So we'll just keep doing that for a second. We can show this, it's not really that bad. See guys, just easy as that. Just, you know, it's like 3 hours worth of video. It's no big deal. And yes, I'm sure there's somebody who's going to be like, oh, you could just use calligraphics. Sure, you can use calligraphics. I just like doing stuff myself. So, and believe me, there is a time and a place for calligraphics because they're good. And they're not overly expensive. But the thing is, like I said, I like doing stuff myself, even if it's available commercially. So now, I'm going to peel this up. You know what we could do?
What?
We could try to keep that backing under that section. How do we do that?
Yeah, you could hinge it, and so you would peel up half and put half down, leave the backing on, and then peel the other half up and pull the backing out. Did that make sense?
I don't think it's going to do at all what I need to accomplish. Okay, so you see the 3's not going to want to come up, so I'll have to go in there and peel that manually. Okay. The 8's going to go okay. It's coming off perfect.
I know.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I'm just going to go for it.
I think so too.
And I'll just touch up the paint if I need to.
Yep.
Okay, so now we know that the O wants to hang over a little bit, and we know that oh shoot.
What?
My one right there is going to be right where the servo control arm is, so we're going to push that out of the way. Metal Gear servo, guys. Okay, so this is the plan. We want that to overhang into the white. And I'm trying to kind of line up my body so I can see this good. Okay, so I'm just loosely pressing it down. I don't want those tape pieces to touch, because this rudder is moving on me a little bit. Okay, so we have that loose, and I'm talking really loose right now. Like it's not stuck on there firmly at all. So we have to go over there and vet this. We just have to do it.
Okay.
You want to pause it?
Okay.
Okay, guys, so like, I mean, I guess this could come off at this point because we're basically looking for our angle. We can try to reuse that on the other side. Okay. Oh, dang. So what we're looking at now is the levelness. What do you think?
Looks good.
Looks better than it did at the beginning, right?
Yep.
I'm sort of afraid to commit to this. I think it's going to be what it is, though. I think we're done with it. So now we're going to stick it on there. So we'll pull this thing out and go back to the table. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're going to basically actually press this down. And we need to kind of work from the good side where we know we've got a good position. And then work it down. Okay? And then we can we don't want to touch this onto the blue if we can avoid it totally. And that's going to get the job done right. Now this is the most awkward spot because it's going right into the middle of this rudder gap between the rudder and the vertical stabilizer. See? That paint came off, but it came off from the decal, okay? It makes me nervous about the longevity of these decals on there. So now what I have to do is I have to try to trim that, and so I have to make a decision where I want to trim it, okay? So if I cut it right down the middle, everything is hunky-dory, but if I don't cut it all the way down the middle, then it's not going to be very hunky-dory at all. So let's peel this off. We'll pause it while we do that.
Okay.
All right, guys, so we've got this, and we've pressed it down. We've got this issue to work through, which is where this 3 is going to need to be pushed in to a cavity. And so the choice becomes, do you trim it or do you just fold it under? Now, this is going to be flat underneath, so we're just going to fold it under for now. And what's going to happen is, first of all, it's probably going to look okay, but I may come back in with white just on a really fine brush and just paint like a little triangle right there, and it will finish the look of the 3. I had to do this on my 330-600 as well. Now over here, this is a lot trickier because of the angle of where we go into this spot, okay? So the first thing we got to do is press this end down. Now, because this is going to hit in the gap, I have a tough choice, and I think my tough choice is going to be to cut as close to middle as I can. Once I cut it with an extremely sharp X-Acto knife, then I should fold it down. Now that means that part of this is not going to fold down on that half, and part of it's going to fold down over here, which is not exactly ideal, but still, it'll be fine for what we're doing. So I'm going to hold this tight once I've pressed it on both sides, and then I can cut. So I'm going to stay away from the edge, and I'm going to walk this down the middle of that decal. And then the last cut is actually going to be a clean cut, you see? So now I'm going to walk right into this seam here at the butt of the 8, okay? Now I can take and fold this down, but I can actually open up the rudder now and get a nice fold in there. Okay, just like so. And the reason I did it that way is because, let's be honest, you got limitations when you got rudders. Even on the big ones, there's issues that come up like this. Okay, so at the end of the day, we can print another 8 and lay that down and drop it down into that cavity, and we can print another half round of the 8 and we can drop it down in there, or I can just touch it up with white, but it's gonna look good. Yeah, because we wouldn't have reached with this top one, right?
Nope.
Okay, so now let's show them on the plane. It doesn't look like that much, guys, but where's our little wedge that we cut? It's supposed to be over here.
I think it's over there on the wing.
Yeah, it's over on the wing. So basically this is the angle now, but that's the angle from actually up on top. Okay, so that tells you how much penetration into the fuse there is. And yeah, there's some steps on this that were unnecessary, but some of them are precautionary because we spent so much effort on this. We don't want to have an outcome that's less than pretty much perfect. Okay, come over here, show them my good side.
Looks nice.
Yeah. Now the other side's going to be simpler because there's no servo there. But now if you guys look at what it looked, I wish we had a picture to show them from the beginning.
We don't have a before.
But it looks so horrible because the 380 was down. It's like a stupid cartoony angle. And then this looks good and this looks good. It just looks so much more real right now. And we haven't even got to the landing gear, which is going to be the big ticket item. So we'll pause it. We'll get the other one on and give you a final look at it. Okay, so as you guys can see, we took this piece that had been over on the other side for placement of our 380, and we put it over here. So that's going to give us our approximate angle of level. Okay, so you imagine the top plane, and then that's just going to go right along. Okay, so now we can go ahead and actually take this whole rudder back out and then work on it, and we've got our transposed mark then. So that's what we're going to do. Guys, and there you have it. It's got the proper angle. Looks good when it moves. And of course we'll come back and finish the rudder on the build series. But this is kind of the decal portion of the series. So I wanted to segregate those out. Thanks for watching, guys. Come back for more. As always, like and subscribe. Check the description below if you're interested in a Cameo. And you can do this yourself. The next thing we're going to do with the Cameo, but it's not going to be a special series, will be the canopy. Or not the canopy, but the windshield. So that's going to be really awesome. So come back for more, guys. We got a lot to do. I think we've made some vast improvements. And the next thing I'm going to do is finish a rudder. This thing's going to be awesome. Thanks for watching.